The movies hit different in the 90s. We had good movies. Does anybody know the longest running movie of the 90s? The longest sit in the theaters? Titanic. There we go. Right on. 2 points to Gryffindor in the front row. There you go. Yes, 2 VHSs. 2 VHSs, yes. And if you grew up and you were a horny little boy like me, that first VHS stopped working after a while. My mom came into my room, she's like, you gotta stop pausing it. I'm like, that's a PG-13 titty, that's your fault. You should have screened this movie before you took me to the theaters. Yeah, when he was painting her, I was like, what the hell is this? And then she was right, it broke. And then it was only a tragedy about the boat sinking in our household. I would just act out the first VHS. I'm like, I'm king of the world! You're up to speed, show me your titties. Thanks, Dad. I did find out in my research, though, which I thought was very interesting, is that the second longest running movie of the 1990s by 3 minutes was Stephen King's It. Yes. And I was fascinated that those two movies had that in common. And all I could think of was, can we get a mashup of those two movies? Hollywood is out of ideas. Start mixing and matching. Let's do this. Put Pennywise the Clown on the Titanic. Take my money. Are you kidding? He's on the back of the door with Rose, like, let go, Jack. We all float down here. I love it. And then I just started mashing up all the 90s movies, man. I think we should mash up Jurassic Park and Home Alone. The McAllisters leave him at Jurassic Park with a couple of cans of paint, BB gun, and some Legos. Have fun, Kevin. And then finally, Home Alone 2 could be about what it was supposed to be about in the first place, which is the court case where they get Kevin taken away from them. Right? Was anybody else shocked that the second movie was they just lose them in a different state? What it means to be white in America. You could just leave your kid the hell at home. As long as you're in a van with John Candy on your way back, nobody cares. Give him to the pigeon lady. She had his back. Those pigeons, right? But I think the quintessential 90s movie had to be Pulp Fiction, right? Had to be. Great movie, right? What's it about? None of you know. None of you know. It's not even edited. It's out of order for no reason. For no reason. They just called it artistic. It's like we didn't ask Quentin Tarantino any questions. He just gave it to us off the cutting room floor, and he's like, watch that. It's the best movie of all time. I love feet. And nobody said anything. And so I asked my wife, I was like, well, if we're gonna mash up 90s movies, we gotta do Pulp Fiction, so what do you think we mash up with Pulp Fiction? And without hesitation, my wife was like, oh, Jingle All the Way. And I was like, is that what you think was in the briefcase that whole time? It was a Turbo Man? That's what you think? But I couldn't imagine a better duo to replace Sam Jackson and Travolta than Sinbad and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Put a Jerry curl on Arnold Schwarzenegger, please. That's a tasty burger. You'd love to see it. You'd love to see it. I know I talk about 90s movies a lot for a guy who has an 80s reference tattooed on his arm. Yes, this is a reference to one of my favorite movies. For the sake of copyright, we're just gonna say that her name is Ressica Jabbit. Yeah. Because for me, this tattoo is a timestamp, all right? It's my favorite movie, and we were both released in the same year, 1988, all right? But some time has passed since that movie came out, and I was reminded of that this year by my 8-year-old niece. She saw this tattoo and looked at me and went, how come you have a tattoo of a drag queen on your arm? Bitch, how dare you? And I stared a hole in this for 45 minutes. And I was like, oh no, she's not wrong. She's not. If you saw a chick in real life that looked like this, I'd be like, there better be a dick in there. I'm 90% sure. The TV hit different in the 90s, man, and I was a millennial. I might as well have been raised by the TV, right? Like, I might as well have been raised by the Tanner family or the Winslow family. I got a friend who's in AA who was raised by Roseanne. No, don't take the Ambien, homie. Don't take the Ambien. And I had black box cable. My parents gave me black box cable. Do any of us have black box cable? There we go. Do any of you know where it came from? Nobody does. Nobody does. My theory is my own conspiracy theory. I think every black box cable, which if you don't know what it is, the black box crawled so the Fire Stick could run. It was all the illegal channels and pay-per-views. My theory is that black box cable came from a social network of stepdads. I'm pretty sure black box cable is the most stepdad gift of all time. It is. It's like, hey kid, you know how I'm not yours? Neither is HBO. Have fun. Black box cable, if you gave it to your kids in the 90s, that was like giving your kid an iPad today. Like, you gave him black box cable because you didn't want to have the sex talk with him. That's what it was. I asked my dad, I was like, Dad, the birds, the bees? He's like, Channel 6. 10 o'clock, stay up late. It's gonna be squiggly, but you'll see some stuff. But that messed me up because then for the longest time, I thought you can only have sex in taxi cabs. Which makes for a really awkward Uber pool. Because I'm cheap and no one likes to watch. That was the way, man. And I feel like we had classes of kids who used to watch different channels. Like, I feel like if you was a Disney kid, your parents are probably still together. I'm real happy for all the matrimony you got to witness on a daily basis. If you was a Nickelodeon kid, oh man, you had 2 Christmases. That's what you had. That was, yup. You was unsupervised. There's no way an adult was letting you watch Ren and Stimpy. You was home alone with the ice cold center of a Hot Pocket and hope. That's all you had. And I feel like now you can see all of these different types of kids represented in corporate America. I mean, look at any one of those buildings that you see in the big cities, all right? Go inside. The Disney kids are all those workers in the middle of the road, okay? Disney people make good workers, all right? They believe anything. They believe that their prince will come as long as those CPS reports are on your desk by Friday. Disney kids will believe any lie you tell them, okay? And then the Nickelodeon kids, we're feral, all right? We're in the mailroom. We're outside spinning the sign. We're just passing through. We're gonna be gone in 6 months because our band's gonna make it. And then the CEO of that company is the Cartoon Network kid at the very top. Yep. Yeah, that's a sociopath who watched too much Adult Swim. He doesn't care if you live or die. There was a lot of Ed, and Eddie going on in that kid's household. He likes 2x4s too much. And then there was this phenomenon too with 90s television, like sitcoms. There were the stairs that go upstairs to you just being recast. Remember Family Matters? The daughter? What was her name? Judy. Gone. Upstairs, never to be seen again. Yeah, and I remember I was a Boy Meets World fan too. I remember one time the daughter, Morgan, went upstairs. 2 seasons later, came down, completely different human being. Completely different, and they did it with all the shows. They were messing with us. I remember one time Ashley went up, Mary Kate came down. I'm like, what is this? Don't lie to me. That was the way. And my mom used to threaten me. She's like, you don't start acting right, we're gonna get into second-story house. And I was like, I've seen your pay stubs. We are staying in this one-story house.